Hi, my name is Andrew. Today, what I'll be speaking about is about the Ku Klux Klan. Now, understand, right, y'all? The Ku Klux Klan was formed by racist individuals who had one only consent in their mind when they realized slaves was getting free by the masses. They started to create a gang called the Ku Klux Klan, a hateful, demonic gang that was meant to target specific individuals of a race and nation to oppress them, to prevent them from uprising, because it was sucking that mentality that they shouldn't be better than them, neither equal. Now, these individuals who are in the modern day Ku Klux Klan and these females who are in the Ku Klux Klan, I have a lot to say about them. They're not going to like it, but it's the truth. I'm going to be respectful as possible as I can. Now, understand, right? When a Caucasian woman joins the Ku Klux Klan, what she's saying indirectly that she's ignorant. She's only around the white man for laying down on her back and giving birth to his children, and nothing more. You want to know why? Because women wasn't allowed to read books. Women were not allowed to have certain jobs as males. They was only allowed to be maids and nurses and babysitters. And they wasn't allowed to read, neither be self-independent, really. And these females who come from Caucasian descent, they had themselves maids, slaves, Negro women who had no freedom, and butlers. These individuals cleaned the house, breastfed their babies, cooked the food, and much more, while those white women sat on their asses all day and looked pretty for their husband, who was an adulteress, a murderer, a rapist, a child molester. This thing went back to butt breaking. Butt breaking is known as rape, to simply humiliate an individual and break their spirit. This is why people call Caucasians crackers, because they like to break people's spirits. They was doing it during the time of Rome and Greece to their own kind. And Rome was so full of pedophiles and rapists that they would target weak mans and rape them. Sometimes strong mans and gain up on them and butt break them to break their spirit, to have them be in a submissive way to them. This thing was going on plantations. Now, these individuals were targeting female teens, male teens, children, the olders, the women's and mans. They was also targeting, raping them to break their spirit. So when So when a woman joins the Ku Klux Klan, what she's saying indirectly that she's ignorant. She don't know how to read. She don't know how to write. She don't know how to spell. And she's not equal to the Caucasian male in any way, any form, and she have no form of self-independence. And that her father is a rapist. Her great-great-grandfather is a rapist, and she's proud of it. Because you know what they did to the Native Americans. They slaughtered them biologically. With bio warfare, with those blankets, with smallpox and chickenpox in it. And slaughtered them with weapons, such as guns and bullets. Now, when a male joins the Ku Klux Klan, what he's saying indirectly to people that he's proud of his great-great-grandfather and his fathers being a rapist, being a child molester, being a serial killer, taking over people's lands and conquering them and putting them in slavery with cruelty and brutality, and that they have no form of self-control over their sexuality. And understand this, right? That not all Caucasians are not like this. It was a great amount of them who had their hands in slavery. But thanks to the New Yorkers, the Yankees, they came from the North down to the South and fought these racist individuals and freed the slaves and killed the Uncle Toms and Auntie Toms who didn't want to go against their oppressors and help free the oppressed. So they got killed right along with their slave masters and their family and freed the slaves. But before that event happened, there was slavery up here in North America. Many of these Caucasians who was fighting against slavery was mentally sane. They understood what their kind was doing was insanity, was cruelty, brutality, and it was shaming their whole entire race. So they got sick or tired of it and decided to do something about it to restore back their race reputation of having honor and dignity. Now, the Ku Klux Klan, it was formed by Mormons, by Joseph Smith, who told bald-faced lies about how leprosy was a blessing from the Most High and pigmentation was a curse, a mark by Satan for cursed individuals to be melanated. And that the more lighter their hair color is, the more blessed they are. You see, what I realized, that these individuals among themselves became so racist that they hated everything about the Negroes, that they started to hate their own selves. Because you see, when a person is filled with so much hate, they hate others who are different from them by the most littlest things, such as they make stereotypes about Caucasians having red hair, so they call them soulless or quick temper. And the ones with black hair, they call them demons and devils. And the one with blonde hair, they call them ignorant and silly. These what Caucasians were saying about their own kind, who was different from them due to their hair color. Now, what I want to say is that the Ku Klux Klan was a gang created from a religion to oppress a certain group of race of individuals, the Negroes, because they had a guilty conscience. They believed that when Negroes get free and they come into power, that they was going to do the same exact thing what they had done to their ancestors and had done to certain individuals who was alive during that time of slavery. See, a guilty mind reveals that person that they know right from wrong. And what these individuals was doing on plantations was wrong. They had no business doing it. I'm not saying all Caucasians are wicked. I'm saying that it's a great amount of them who are wicked. In this modern day and time, the Ku Klux Klan recruits vulnerable individuals who want a job, so they join a gang to receive certain benefits in society, to receive certain jobs with a normal Caucasian male or female or child wouldn't get, or teen. So they join these gangs and follow these demonic rules. And these individuals who are part of the Ku Klux Klan have children, raising them up to be racist, to attack people, and to possibly kill them just for them being of another race or nationality. That is the true form of racism. To attack another simply because they are from another race or nation, or to try to kill them, which is known as attempted murder, or do murder them. That is racism. Segregation is not racism. It's the natural order of things. So when the Ku Klux Klan says people of other races and nationalities have no right being in their community, they are 100% right. They should say out of those Caucasian nations community. They should say within their own community. They are 100% right. And it goes vice versa. These Caucasians should say out of African Americans communities. They have no right being in our communities. And people of the other nations have no right being in Negroes community. Each African nation should have a community of their own and should be doing great as a nation. They should be building up their own soils and much more. This is the Black American dream. There was once a Black American dream when Black Wall Street was around, when African Americans had their own communities. It was Africans with it was Africans from all nationalities that was living in different communities that have their own businesses and stores and much more here in America. That was the Black American dream. The Black American dream is gone. Now the white American dream is being ruined because of property and greedy politics who taking money from individuals and giving it to the rich. Making people within all nations and races poor and living in poverty much more. Do you know what rich white folks call poor white folks? White trailer trash. They look down upon their own who are less fortunate and who are poor through the pride. It's so much things that's going on here in America. It's ridiculous. You having these teens and these young men and women and these elders joining the Ku Klux Klan just to receive certain white privileges within society so that they could live a better, comfortable life. Just to receive certain kinds of jobs and much more. And do you know where all this child molestation came from that's going on in the ghettos? It came from the plantations. It never left us. Those slaves was being raped, beaten, and they never got justice for it. So they hold on to a grudge and start doing it among their others. Start doing among others, among themselves, such as their family members or forced friends. They started doing the same thing onto others, even strangers of their own race and nation. And these individuals started to do it onto their own family members and forced friends. Due to a grudge. And it had never stopped. This is why child molestation and rape here in Black America is so high. Because it started from the plantations. And when Black America was around, it's no longer Black America. We don't have our own communities. African Americans we don't have our own communities. We don't even have a Black Wall Street no more. They destroyed it twice. By the masses, African Americans don't have their own businesses and stores and much more by the masses. Therefore, we have to depend on other races and different nationalities just to support ourselves and take care of ourselves, take care of our family, and let others rule over us and give them rent and much more. This place, Black America, is no longer a dream. It's a goddamn nightmare. And there will never be peace. Because two different races can't coexist in the same place peacefully. One will always be dominated, one will always be in rulership. Or shifts will change, which equals to a constant form of war. A continuously war. A war that never stops until there is segregation. When Martin Luther King died was wrong. He should have let Caucasians say with Caucasians. He should have let African Americans say among their own selves. Now we don't have no black businesses by the masses. Sure, there's a few who have black businesses, but they got those jobs from Caucasians and people from other races to get where they're at. And they have contracts. Don't worry, because this was all described in the Bible. This was all prophesied in the Bible, how things will happen. It has said in this, those who live in poverty will be rich. So it say, though thou art poor, thou art rich, which means people are spiritually rich. And those who are rich and money-wise are poor spiritually. So I want to say, please don't be racist towards Caucasians. You should always judge a person by their character. And if a Caucasian is racist towards you, please defend yourself. Do whatever is necessary to get that person from off you. Even if you have to take their life, if it's necessary. You have to do what you gotta do. This is your friend, Angel. Later, y'all.